I'm here with Akil from onemusicnetwork.com. Great seeing you here, Akil.
That's good. It's good to have you, man. Glad that you're having me.
Sure, we're having each other here because I'm in your office. And we're listening to your music on your system.
Let me tell you this whole story. I got a job with V101 as a sales assistant. I'm a graphic designer, desktop publisher, web designer. And I just kind of saw it as an opportunity to get my foot in the door, figure out who was doing what, and then see what I could do. And I pitched the idea to my then boss, Don Elias, who is now my current partner.
Hey now, oh okay, you guys are partners running this internet network.
Yes.
Okay, and you're helping out the local scene, right? You do a show Sunday night where you play exposed local. Is it all urban artists?
Well, it's neo soul, urban soul, R&B, and initially we started out just playing in local artists, and then I expanded to the Bay Area, and now I do artists from all over the world.
So it's indie music, right?
Independent. Well, we have mainstream artists like Wapley, Redicy, Anthony Hamilton, and Raheem Devon, but then we also feature artists that maybe people never heard of.
Okay.
So if you're an artist and you have a great song, I'll play it. And my criteria for a great song is pretty strict. So
what makes a great song for your show?
Great production, great mix, mature content. And when I say mature, I mean, I don't mean cursing and all that stuff. I just mean, songs that adults can really enjoy. And, my rule of thumb is if I can't play it for my mother, then I don't want to play it.
Did she grow up with Aretha Franklin and Marvin Gaye?
Yeah.
Like I did?
But, I tell people, though, that today, the music that I play on my show is today's version of Aretha Franklin. I say that on the show all the time, too. It's like, today's music, neo-soul artists, your Eric Robersons, your Anthony Davids, your Twin Spirit, and Dombey. These artists today have live bands. They have great vocals.
They're authentic musicians.
Authentic musicians, really, really good songs. And, what was the music back then? It was the same thing. Mainstream radio, it's like, you get a lot of the digital production and you get a lot of,
auto-tune.
Auto-tune. I got a couple auto-tunes. But no, I'm just saying the music that I really enjoy is real music, and that's what we feature on the show.
So it's organic. Organic soul, in a way. Yeah.
Homegrown.
Okay. And that's what it's called, right?
Yeah, it's called the Homegrown Soul Show.
And then the website for that is what?
homegrownsoulshow.com.
Okay. And it's part of V101.1, which is an urban station here in Sacramento. All right. So you've been working there how long?
We started the show in August 2008.
Okay.
And I started a live version of the show. We actually simultaneously launched the live show and the radio show at the same time. And the live show was a live band open mic where we featured a lot of the local talent. I flew out a lot of talent from all over the country.
Wow.
A lot of the major neo-soul singers came to our stage. But it just gave the singers here in Sacramento a stage to showcase their talent. And actually learn. It was like being on the Apollo. The question was, can you sing? That's what my host used to ask the audience, the singers. Can they sing?
No overdubs.
Yeah. No CDs.
He knows because you're an artist, right? I mean, tell me about your musical ambitions. We're listening to some right now.
Well, that's just instrumentals that I, music beds and production I do for the radio show. But my music is, I'm all over the map. I write, produce, sing, play, rap. And I hate to say the word rap these days because I come from a time where hip hop and rap was like, had message. Yeah. It was real.
Well,
deep.
It seemed that the 70s, the early hip hop had a deep message, like a social message, and then the 80s was more of a party.
Yeah, and the 90s was more politically conscious. Well, I mean, it just depends on what side you were. If you were the Tribe Called Quest or were you the NAA? And I was the Tribe Called Quest, I don't know if you remember Paris from San Francisco,
kind of
Guru, leaders of the new school. So I came up in that era, and that's, and I'm from the Bay Area, so my music was really street conscious.
Sure.
And today
I was really into Ice-T at that point.
Ice-T. Well, yeah, I mean, Ice-T was He was cool, you know.
And even Public Enemy,
yeah,
to a degree.
Public Enemy,
yeah.
yeah. But today's rap it's not the same.
Doesn't have the same message, huh?
Yeah.
It's more commercial, isn't it? And
yeah.
cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say you rap, it's kind of almost a
negative connotation because it got too corporate, and it wasn't supposed to be corporate in the beginning. Yeah. So then you do a mix, like it's an eclectic background of music you do.
I do a lot of stuff.
And you even make background music, which. And you sell your music on CD Baby, right?
CD Baby, iTunes, on my own website.
You told me when I met you last week that you were selling music from Japan, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what is the secret to that? How does a Sacramento artist start selling music to Japan how do they know who you are?
I have no idea. I just started looking at their sales, and all the sales were coming from Japan. I was like, wow. Now, I was on a website. It was called GarageBand.com.
Okay.
You remember them?
I remember them.
And so I put a song on my first album. It was called My Life. And I got it to number 3 on the all-time rap charts. And so being ranked so high, every time you went to the GarageBand.com and click rap, you saw my music. And that was an international website. So because of that, I got the attention of people in Japan.
And you were able to just build a following that evolved and snowballed from there. Yeah.
I was shocked.
That's awesome.
I'd say 90% of all my record sales were in Japan.
Wow.
That was cool.
So do you want to give us a clue how many records you sold?
I don't even know. I know I pressed up only 1,000 records, but digital sales and streaming sales, it's thousands of them. You know.
Wow.
I should check. Huh?
I mean, can an indie artist make a living off that, or do you really have to put out 100 albums?
Well, I think if I were to be, I've done the music for myself primarily out of love for making music, but I was never really trying to be famous or trying to be a star. So I never did concerts or shows until 2009. That was the first time I started performing.
Live in front of a crowd?
Yeah. But, I've always done management and, things behind the scenes for all the other artists.
So you kind of learned the whole universe of the music business in a way. Yeah. So where will that take you? Where do you want it to take you? If you don't want it, are you saying you don't want to be famous, or what?
Well, my music, I want my music.
I mean, you're
to
already
get out.
famous in Sacramento, but I mean worldwide. When you're already famous in Japan, but I mean the whole world. Are you not going for that?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm famous. A few people know me, but no, I would like to get my music out for the message. What I like to do is use music to promote positive and inspiring messages, because the industry has put so much negative out there. A lot of the young kids out there.
No kidding.
Falling apart.
They're bad role models sometimes. I mean, it can point people in the wrong direction, and I know that sounds like an old man saying that, but the truth is, I mean, even when I was a kid, I was thinking of this, that kids idolize artists. That to them they're mythological. And so they're gonna follow what the artists do. They want to get deep into that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
the artists speak their language.
Yeah.
I mean, although they may really appreciate Barack Obama, they don't quite listen to what he says because they don't quite understand what he says. But what they do understand is what Lil Wayne is saying, or what Rick Ross is saying, or
it's closer to home.
Beyonce is saying. And sometimes these artists say the wrong things, and the kids really soak that up and try to emulate it, and that's what I try to go against. I try to go against that.
Give me an example of a song you've written that you think has a positive message.
You want to hear it first?
We could do that, yeah.
Action separates boys from men. I'm active in my hood, now I'm poised to win. No longer poisoning or destroying kin. And my soul no longer celebrates the joys of sin. Just a small piece. But that's what I was talking about.
That's inspiring. Yeah. I could see where that could make people go, whoa, that could make my life better if I really thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, really, you do, if you admire somebody and they're saying something positive, you're going to think positively. If you admire somebody and they say something stupid, you're going to think stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?